How many times have you told your friend not to get back into that toxic relationship? Or a family member to quit that job with the horrible boss? Or your dog not to wee in the house? And they nod their head and agree that it's the right thing to do, only to go back to the same situation the next day. It can be frustrating, especially when they come to you for advice in the first place, or maybe just for belly rubs. I used to experience it all the time, until I started reading books and consuming content to improve my social skills, and I accumulated some techniques to get people to take my advice. Yeah, it took a lot of effort to get people to actually listen to me. In the book Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss, who is an ex-FBI negotiator, he talks about his experience training at a suicide hotline centre. He spent some time on a call with a man who had agoraphobia, trying to convince him to go outside. He was persuasive, convincing and logical, and at the end the man thanked him for doing a great job, leading Chris to believe that he was successful. However, afterwards his mentor told him that it was one of the worst calls he had ever heard, because at the end the man should have been thanking himself, not Chris. He should have felt as though he was coming to his own conclusions, and realising himself that it's not logical to be scared of going outside. Instead, he was hit with the facts and figures, which he likely already knew, so he just passed him off with a well done to get him off his back. Chris summarises that the goal is to gently guide your counterpart to discover your goal as their own, rather than just tell them what to do. And I think this links back to why no one ever takes our advice. People don't want to be told what to do, they want to work it out themselves. And there's actual science to back this up. Research using reactance theory reveals to us that whenever a person tells us what to do and how to do it, we respond with a defensive defiance because we want to maximise our personal freedom and decision making. This makes it much less likely for us to follow advice, and actually likely for us to purposely go directly against it, whether subconsciously or not. So how do we do this? How do we gently guide someone to follow our advice without actually giving advice or seemingly trying to control their life like we're the director of The Truman Show? We can ask questions instead, specifically open-ended questions. This will make them do something vital, think for themselves. They will start questioning their own beliefs because they're forced to. Then, if we act impartially, simply curious, they can see that we have no agenda to influence them, so they won't have their guard up when they start coming to their conclusions. Another broader technique is simply to just be a good example. We all know the famous quote by Gandhi, "Be the change you want to see in the world," and the one by that other history maker, "I'm starting with the man in the mirror." Well, there's science to back it too. Research on observational learning suggests that while people will resist unsolicited advice and instruction, they will follow the behaviours of others, especially where there appear to be good and reinforcing outcomes from these behaviours or beliefs. And it makes sense. If you're telling your friend to end their toxic relationship, yet you're with someone who constantly belittles and mentally abuses you, your advice is almost void. That's just how people tell their dog off for weeing in the house, then go on a bottomless brunch that gets out of hand and start drunk weeing in public, which seems to be a national sport in England. This is also a good way to weed out the negative people if you are improving your life. Rather than just think, they aren't on my path of improvement, I need to kick them to the curb, which is a mistake I've definitely made in the past. First, actually just change yourself. Do good things, drink less, be a better person, work on your mind and body. Some will be inspired and join the journey, some will resent it out of their own insecurities. Now you know who your real friends are and who aren't. So, in conclusion, as tempting as it is to give advice to friends and family, remind yourself that when you do, it's counterintuitive. Instead, ask open-ended questions and let them think for themselves, coming to their own conclusions, and focus on leading by example consistently anyway. Because ultimately, we can't control what other people do, as much as we like to think we can. So the best way to live a happy and healthy life is to be the kindest, most responsible and courageous person we can possibly be. Then accept everything else. There's no better way than that to help the people you truly care about. Thank you so much for watching. If you took any value at all from this video, I'd really appreciate if you could hit the like button. I post weekly videos on building discipline and an unbreakable mindset. If you're looking to improve your life, then hit the subscribe button and join the community. I've also just released a free playbook to getting your life together. It takes you through the step-by-step process that I use for going from anxious and lazy to fulfilled and productive. It's completely free, so grab it while you can. It's the first link in the description, and I'll see you in the next one.